encourage you to come alongside, as the fellow panelists have said, come alongside the people who are currently most impacted by the decisions being made. Think about what you have the bandwidth to do and how you can do that. There are so many organizations working with these families in different capacities. If you're a kid person, come volunteer with an organization like Heart House. If you prefer older children, organizations like Victory Meadow Youth Development Foundation, my friend up here on the end, his organization. If you prefer working with other adults and have the time to help them obtain their GED or learn the English language. Literacy Achieves, we have another organization here, Gateway of Grace, is that correct? That are working with the adult population. If you want to go help with the food pantry, those opportunities are here. So many opportunities to come alongside, help provide the services that are greatly needed. If you have the financial resources, obviously we encourage you to support organizations that need that now. So much funding for the work that organizations are doing has been impacted. And so that is always needed. But your time.
Thank you to all our panelists for sharing your expertise and insight with us. Let's give them a hand. Now we'd like to open the floor to questions from the audience and audience listeners may have for our panelists. We only have time for a few questions, and remember that you will have the opportunity to speak to an attorney privately about your specific case. Do we have any questions from the audience?
Can I ask one? So, okay, I'm trying to say this the right way. So, from what I've gathered, there's estimates of about 11 million people living here without documentation. I think there's a lot of confusion about the nature of those folks. For example, you guys know all the misconceptions, but even those who are maybe not completely, whatever, brainwashed, they're still the understanding. A lot of folks say, oh, there are 11 million people hiding and working illegally. Could you guys clarify the fact that a lot of these folks aren't? Lay out the landscape of these 11 million folks. Are all of them in hiding? I don't think they're not, but are some of them in the system? What's their status? Just kind of broad view. Does that make sense?
Yes. I'll start and then we can also. There is a diverse group of people. There are people who entered lawfully with, for example, a tourist visa, and they overstayed, so now they're here undocumented. There are individuals who maybe entered in the 90s or early 2000s without authorization, and when we say without authorization, typically we think of someone crossing, through the mountainous area or desert or, through the river. There are people here who have certain type of temporary status, such as we've got people from El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, so this is temporary protected status. Then we've got individuals who are seeking asylum.
Right.
We have individuals who have other, DACA, who also maybe came here, overstayed, or entered unlawfully. So there's a diverse group of people here who have some sort of status but aren't technically with permanent status, let's say. And then we have people who maybe entered lawfully or unlawfully and are here, but most of them aren't at home hiding.
Right.
They're living their lives. They've been here for some of them for a very long time.
Paying taxes.
Exactly. But they just, unfortunately, the way that our laws are designed, some individuals just aren't eligible for some sort of legal status. And Paul, if you want to add something to that?
The roughly 11 million undocumented immigrants have they're statistically they're not much like the way they've been portrayed in recent years. The average stay in the United States now exceeds 2 decades. It's been roughly 50 years since the amnesty. And the way our economy works, there are jobs that are only filled by those who haven't the right to be here. Our agricultural sector, our home construction and repair sector are both, to give very good examples, of service sector as well, staffed largely by undocumented immigrants. What needs to be understood is that they are ineligible for virtually all public benefits, so they come here to work or to save their lives in the case of refugees. And it has been true throughout the time I've been aware for these 30 years that administrations, Republican and Democrat, have prioritized the removal of, the deportation that is, of those with criminal records. So when I consult with prospective clients in my office, some things that I guess most people would be surprised to hear is virtually all of them have been paying their taxes. Virtually all of them have been paying their taxes, reporting their income, and virtually none of them will receive anything back from the amount that they've paid into the Social Security system. Now, I shouldn't say virtually none because I do, when I do prevail and when they do, if a client does become a permanent resident, then they can request credit for the amount of time that they have, the work that they have done and contributions that they have to Social Security. But unless someone becomes a lawful resident, they cannot. And these are folks with families arriving in the United States, most of them, at the time when they can actually earn a living. They are also arriving at an age when they are likely to raise a family. And so the great majority of those 11 million undocumented residents in this country are members of families that are woven through with U.S. citizens and U.S. permanent residents. Their removal will effectively generate millions and millions of orphans. It will also generate millions of U.S. citizens who will be brought up and acculturated abroad to return when adults with no knowledge of the English language and no familiarity with American culture. What we are embarked on is a disaster.
One point I will add that I will say a lot of my clients tend to also be business owners. These are individuals who are innovative, who are putting into our economy, who are hiring other individuals. So this is also a very important point.
One last thing I'd really like to add, and this is to anyone who either is or knows, anyone on the right. Undocumented immigrants have the strongest faith in the American dream of anyone you'll ever meet. What have they sacrificed in pursuit of the American dream? If permitted to vote, these immigrants, they're not congenital Democrats. This is absurd. If welcomed, they would be family value voters. I'm a bleeding heart liberal. I have nothing in common with the political views of my clients. Nothing. They don't have any particular interest in wealth redistribution. They don't have any particular interest in gay rights or no. These are conservative, family value voters. If American conservatives would stop hating on them, this is tomorrow's constituency.
Yes, I just wanted to say that as somebody who has worked within the community, I wholeheartedly agree. We have a plethora of talent that right now is being drained. And not only that, during the time of COVID, the essential workers were the economic engine in our salvation. And these are the people that now are veterans. And what is one of the things that hurts me the most is that we are not only, contributing to this great country of ours, but the fact that we have to live in fear and the fact that what's happening, and all is absolutely right. Reagan once said it, the Latino community, they're Republicans, they just don't know it yet. And the context in which we're in, the Republican Party is shooting themselves in the foot in so many ways. This whole tariff hike, that's going to mean that it's going to put more of a strain on the working force. If they want to make America be the land where the manufacturing comes in and there's your workers. Yeah. And now you can get your workers out, it just makes absolutely no sense. And so that's why whenever we fight for the immigrant community, we're fighting for country.
Is there any more questions?
I got them. In this one I would rather y'all speak Spanish for those non-English speakers, because they use a lot. Les quería preguntar a ustedes, ustedes que, como saben de que hay muchos rumores de inmigración, está haciendo esto, está haciendo lo otro, al menos darle un poco de confianza a los padres, de no tener miedo, de que no solo se pueden meter a las escuelas y darse a todos sus hijos. Y pueden agregar todo lo que le puedan dar a estos padres para que tengan más esperanza y un poquito de más calma y en la vida normal.
Yo soy una persona que es inmigrante. Soy una persona que no tiene documentos por más de 20 años. Nos quieren quitar nuestro estima, nos quieren quitar nuestro valor. Somos el sueño de nuestros ancestros estar en este país. Estamos aquí porque nunca nos rajamos y porque nunca nos tuvimos miedo a ningún gobierno. Y no vamos a empezar el día de hoy para dejar a una persona creer que tiene más poder que la comunidad. La comunidad es la que hace a este país y la comunidad nos va a sacar de ese problema. Nosotros como familia, como comunidad, tenemos uno al otro. La política es un espacio que no tenemos muy impredictible, pero nuestra comunidad es el corazón y es donde tenemos que poner nuestro apoyo, porque ellos son los que están siempre cuando hay una catastrofía. Muchas veces la comunidad es la primera que te ayuda. Y luego vienen como las películas que vienen los policías al último y a salvar el día ya cuando todo pasó y toda la gente ya está salva. Así es que no tengan miedo, manejen su vida con conciencia pero nosotros vamos a seguir de esta, vamos a pasar de esta tormenta. No es la primera vez que nos van a atacar y cada vez seguimos nosotros aquí como una comunidad resilient, como una comunidad trabajadora, luchadora, que nunca se raja y no le tenemos miedo a ningún gobierno.
Sabemos que ahorita muchos están muy asustados y como dijo Paul en la presentación, conocer esos derechos. Sí sé cuando hay la policía, a lo mejor para la persona, toca la puerta, muchos se ponen muy nerviosos porque nunca han tenido ningún arresto y las autoridades, ¿verdad? Es muy importante practicar, guardar silencio y saber sus derechos, porque entiendo que muchos, y ha sucedido con mis clientes, que se ponen nerviosos y abren la puerta y empiezan a hablar. Entonces es muy, muy importante, los que ya saben los derechos, infórmenle a los padres, practiquen con ellos y déjenles saber, entiendo que son las autoridades, pero usted igual tiene esos derechos y debe de ejercer esos derechos, porque eso es la parte muy importante. Les decimos a la comunidad, guarden silencio, sepan sus derechos, pero llega la policía y se ponen muy nerviosos y se les olvida todo. Entonces, recordar y practicar con su familia. Lo otro también es tener un plan. Sí, lo peor puede suceder lamentablemente, pero es mejor estar preparados por lo peor y tener una acción, un plan de acción para saber si mi padre es detenido, ¿qué vamos a hacer? ¿Quién se va a encargar de los menores de edad o cuentas de banco, etcétera? Entonces es mejor saber sus derechos y estar preparados.
Hay que reconocer que la migración ha dicho que no van a, ya no van a prometer no visitar las escuelas, no van a prometer no ir a iglesias, no van a prometer no ir a hospitales. Es una cosa que decir que no, que es posible, y otra, entrar. Y no lo han hecho. El día que invaden una escuela o visiten un hospital, saldrá en las noticias y ustedes pueden volver a calcular si es o no, si vale o no vale cualquier riesgo mandar los niños a la escuela. Pero por ahora, absolutamente, hay que ir a la escuela, hay que seguir, porque si no, esa gente racista gana. Ganan así en la forma que le quitan de sus hijos derecho fundamental a la educación. No es momento para pánico, sino precauciones. Yo tengo en un ser humano comprobante de la eficacidad de mi lección, esta lección, el silencio vale oro. Hace pocos años, un van que contenía 6 hombres cruzaba Luisiana en rumbo a un trabajo. Un policía paró al van y el oficial preguntó al conductor y todos los que estaban dentro de ese van sobre su identidad y sus papeles. Uno de los pasajeros, solo uno, estaba presente en una de mis clases. Y él, en cambio, a los demás, contestó al oficial, al policía, cuando le preguntó si tenía papeles, si tenía ID. Repetía la frase mágica, "Me está deteniendo", hasta que él siguió por su rumbo, caminando, lamentablemente. Pero los demás, ellos están, que sepa yo, todavía en la custodia de la migra o quizás no deportados. Él salió en libertad porque ejerció su derecho de guardar silencio. Hay que educarse y ejercer ese derecho fundamental que tenemos todos, con o sin documentos.
No hables luego.
Thank you for your questions, and thank you to our panelists who have provided valuable information for all of us. Your time, expertise, and dedication to this work make a real difference. We are so grateful for your presence here today. Let's give them one more round of applause. If you you're eligible to vote, local elections are around the corner. You'll find city council and school board races, among others, on your ballot in this election. Early voting begins on Tuesday, April 22, and election day is on Saturday, May the 3rd. Check the Dallas County Elections website for more information about voting locations and voting times. Our panelists have agreed to stay for a few minutes to answer specific questions that you may have. While we aren't able to offer private consultations today, you'll see plenty of trusted resources available on your tables. Please scan the QR code to see the list for organizations that can support you. If you would like to meet with one of the attorneys you've heard from today for a private consultation, please see us and we will get to that schedule today. Lastly, we encourage you to visit the community tables you see in the next room. Many of our community partners have provided handouts outlining the services they offer to support individuals and families in our neighborhoods. Thank you again for being here with us this morning. We hope you leave with a stronger understanding of your rights and a greater sense of confidence and a deeper connection to your community.